Now let's assume that there is a pharmacy system that can automate this process. Let's analyze each of the tasks of this process and identify their types, and then let's see if there are any manual tasks, how we can link this to the pharmacy system. So we can identify the following tasks: check insurance, collect drugs from shelves, check quality, seal bag and add to pickup area, retrieve prescription bag, and collect payment. Now the first task is clearly an automated task. We could automatically execute it through the pharmacy system that would compute the amount of copayment of the customer on the basis of their insurance policy and the prescription itself. So the remaining tasks, like collect drugs from shelves or check the quality, are manual tasks. However, the first task, collect drugs from shelves, could be replaced by a user task. A user task that is supported by a work list handler that presents new work items to the technicians as new prescriptions arrive. And it has a function to print out a barcode on an adhesive label. The technician prints the label and then attaches to the drugs once they have been collected from the shelves, and then scans the barcode in order to notify the BPMS that this activity has been completed. Similarly, we can implement through a user task the check quality task. This task would be done by the pharmacist that would receive a new work item in their inbox, check the prescription, and then scan again the label of the product to confirm the completion of this task to the BPMS, and then of course decide whether the quality is okay or whether the prescription needs to be revised. For example, the drugs are not exactly those required in the prescription. The next activity, seal bag and add to pickup area, is actually an activity that cannot be linked to the BPMS because of the nature of this activity. It involves pretty much working with physical objects like the bag that needs to be sealed and then added to the pickup area. However, this activity will simply be done by the pharmacist as a normal procedure once they have completed the quality check. So we can remove it from our to be executed process model. Similarly, the retrieval of the prescription bag is another activity that can be done by the technician every time the customer gets into the pharmacy. And finally, the last activity, collect payment, is actually something that typically is done electronically by means of a point of sale POS system. So the BPMS would delegate the collection of the payment to the point of sale, which will then signal the completion, so the collection of the payment, back to the BPMS so that the BPMS can regain control of the process systems. So we can replace this one with an automated task. So the possible solution would then be that we have a pharmacy pool with 3 lanes: a BPMS, the pharmacy system, the technician, and the pharmacist. The process starts once a new prescription has arrived, for example, electronically submitted by the customer or manually entered into the system by the technician, upon which activity check insurance is automatically performed by the BPMS. Then the technician collects the drugs and notify completion of this task through a user task. Similarly, quality check is done through a user task. And finally, the collection of the payment is done by means of a service task by the BPMS itself, upon which the prescription is fulfilled and so the process completes.